Oil changes, brake pads, tire rotations. That's it. That's the entire repair history on 9 SUVs that last a decade without a single major failure. No transmission replacements, no engine swaps, no 5-figure surprises at year 6. The average SUV doesn't make it to year 12. The transmission locks up, rust eats the floor pans, and the engine light becomes a permanent fixture. These 9 break that pattern on original components past 200,000 miles, counting down all 9. The longevity data, the model years to buy, and what separates these from everything else. Plus 2 that won't survive 10 years. Number 1 has factory powertrains past 700,000 miles. Let's go. Number 9, the Honda HR-V. RepairPal rates it 5 out of 5 for reliability. Perfect score in the subcompact SUV category. So annual maintenance runs $301. Your phone bill costs more than that, your streaming subscriptions cost more, and your coffee habit costs more every single month. Shop visits average 0.1 per year. That's once every 10 years for an unplanned repair. The rest is just oil changes and scheduled maintenance. IIHS top safety pick. Plus adds a safety rating that most subcompacts in this price range can't touch. Cargo space with the rear seats down opens 46.7 cubic feet. Families run these past 150,000 miles without any major repair. The engine performs at 140,000 the same way it did at 5,000. The 1.8-liter 4-cylinder runs a timing chain and a simple fuel system, which means no turbo heat problems, no gunk building up inside, and nothing under the hood a mechanic hasn't seen 1,000 times. Insurance averages under $1,400 a year. A used Audi Q3 at the same size costs $850 a year in maintenance. That's $549 more per year. Over a decade, the Audi owner spends $5,490 more just keeping the lights on. The HR-V delivers the same passenger space with none of the repair drama. For a subcompact that scores perfect on reliability and costs $301 a year to maintain, the HR-V barely asks for anything in return. The next one held the number 1 spot on RepairPal for over a decade straight. The Mazda CX-5 5. RepairPal ranked it first out of 26 midsize SUVs, not top 5. First, annual maintenance sits at $447, well below the midsize average of $573. That $126 gap stays in your pocket every year for the life of the vehicle. 0 powertrain recalls across 11 years of production. Powertrain recalls are the expensive ones. Now, the kind that trigger buyback programs and drain household budgets. 22.8% of CX-5s reach 200,000 miles without major work. That's better than 1 in 5 hitting the mileage mark, where most competitors become money pits. The 2.5-liter Skyactiv engine runs a timing chain and a regular 6-speed automatic. No turbo on the base model, no CVT, and nothing complicated under the hood. 11 production years without a single powertrain recall. The steering stays sharp and direct through the entire ownership period without developing the loose, numb feeling most competitors get by year 4. Interior materials hold up without rattling on rough roads. Insurance runs as low as $640 to $875 depending on model year. The cabin quality punches past the price tag with stitched materials and build quality that feels like something costing $35,000 new. Every year you own this, the gap between what a CX-5 costs and what a luxury compact SUV costs, somebody else gets wider. That's the math that made it number 1 on RepairPal's list for over a decade. Number 7, the Lexus RX. Toyota mechanical bones wrapped in leather and genuine wood trim. Annual maintenance costs $550, well below luxury SUV averages that run above $700. 200,000 miles is not a ceiling. It's an entry point into continued trouble-free ownership. 300,000 miles is documented across owner forums worldwide. The Lexus RX holds the title as the best-selling luxury SUV brand globally. That dominance came from consistency, not marketing. A resale holds better than German luxury competitors of the same age. Your value holds steadier compared to BMW, Mercedes, and Audi at the same age. The hybrid variants push even further, regularly hitting 250,000 miles with barely any battery work needed. A used BMW X5 at the same age costs double to maintain annually. The Lexus RX outlasts it and costs half as much to keep running. That's the math that moves 100,000 units a year, and why Lexus owners rarely show up in mechanic complaint forums. Over 10 years, total maintenance on the RX runs about $5,500. A Mercedes GLE over the same period runs $12,400. That $6,900 gap is a vacation fund that the RX owner keeps and the GLE owner sends to a service bay. The next one saved me more money and fuel over 5 years than any other SUV on this list. Number 6, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. 41 miles per gallon combined. The Hybrid runs an electric transmission with almost no moving parts inside. Fewer parts means fewer ways to brake. Repairs average $429 a year, lower than the gas-only RAV4. That's the Hybrid saving you money on fuel and on service simultaneously. Resale holds 75% at 5 years. That's the used car market trusting the vehicle's long-term reliability with real purchase dollars. Buyers pay a premium for the Hybrid because they know it will still be running at 200,000 miles. Battery packs rarely fail before 200,000 miles. Toyota's warranty extends these components well past what most competitors offer. The engine paired with 2 electric motors creates a setup mechanics call nearly failure-proof because almost nothing inside wears out during normal driving. Insurance runs under $1,700 a year. Is fuel savings over 5 years of average driving exceed $5,000 compared to the gas-only RAV4? Owners report consistent fuel economy across the entire ownership period without the battery wearing down. The Hybrid doesn't just last a decade, it pays you back while doing it. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We break down which SUVs actually keep running when competitors fail. Real maintenance data, real owner experiences, real numbers that protect your wallet. New videos every week. Number 5, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid. A 3-row SUV that defies every depreciation statistic in the segment. 34.4% of gas Highlanders reach 200,000 miles. The Hybrid pushes that to 41%. Annual maintenance runs $489. Families don't trade in the Highlander Hybrid because it stopped working. Then they trade in because the kids moved out or they wanted fewer seats. The vehicle outlasts the need for a 3-row SUV. 31% reach 250,000 miles. That's the sweet spot where vehicle values stabilize and reliability still holds firm for daily use. The interior holds up against sun damage and daily wear better than most competitors. Climate control stays consistent and effective through the entire decade. The Hybrid system takes pressure off the transmission. The electric motors handle some of the work that would normally wear down a regular gearbox. Insurance runs under $1,600. Parts availability is universal because Toyota sells more Highlanders than most brands sell total vehicles. Over 10 years, maintenance on the Highlander Hybrid runs under $5,000. A BMW X5 over the same period runs over $11,000. The Highlander costs less to maintain per decade than the BMW costs in 3 years of oil changes, brake jobs, and coolant system repairs. Number 4, the Honda CR-V, $407 a year in maintenance, which comes out to $34 a month. Car payments exceed that figure by multiples. 28.7% reach 200,000 miles. Honda ranks first out of 32 brands for overall reliability. First, parts cost next to nothing because every shop in the country keeps CR-V components on the shelf. No dealer appointment needed, no special tools locked behind a dealer paywall. A BMW X3 at the same price needs a factory scanner just to reset a service light. The CR-V needs a socket set and 20 minutes. The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder on pre-2017 models runs a simple fuel system and Honda's own CVT with a stronger internal setup. No turbo on the base engine, no oil dilution drama. That same setup carried over across multiple generations, letting mechanics develop expertise that makes every repair faster and cheaper. Resale stays strong because demand never drops. A used CR-V with 120,000 miles commands respect in the market because the buyer knows it has 80,000 reliable miles remaining. That's the difference between Honda engineering and brands that build vehicles expecting the second owner to pay for the first owner's hidden problems. This next one shares its platform with the most rugged trucks on the planet, the Lexus GX, built on Land Cruiser and Tacoma platform foundations. Those aren't random choices. Those are the two toughest foundations in the entire car industry. 400,000 miles is proven across the global ownership base. Videos exist showing GX models past 680,000 miles still driving daily, and still passing emissions, still commanding $25,000 on the used market. Lexus averaged 135 problems per 100 vehicles in J.D. Power's latest dependability study. That's the lowest of every brand sold in America. The GX specifically holds that standard across every model year. No transmission recall has ever hit this model line. No engine defect has surfaced across the modern generation in any recall database. The off-road engineering underneath means tougher highway durability. Truck-style construction spreads the wear across the whole frame instead of focusing it in one spot. Maintenance runs about $575 a year. Insurance sits under $1,600. A used Range Rover at the same age requires $2,000 a year in regular maintenance and carries air suspension that's guaranteed to fail by year 5. The GX runs coil springs that last the life of the vehicle. The GX doesn't announce itself as reliable. It just keeps running past every mileage marker the competition gave up on long ago. Number 2, the Toyota Sequoia. A full-size 3-row truck with an engine that refuses to quit. 4.6% reach 300,000 miles compared to 0.8% across all vehicles in America. That's nearly 6 times the average. The V8 engine powers multiple Toyota models without changes. That simplicity of design means fewer things that can break compared to turbocharged engines with all their extra parts. Towing capacity sits at 7,400 pounds, and the powertrain handles that stress for 15 years without major work. Families don't sell the Sequoia because it broke. They sell because the family got smaller. The frame doesn't rust as aggressively as some competitors. Paint holds up past manufacturer expectations. Interior seats survive sun damage and daily wear for a decade without splitting or cracking visibly. Annual maintenance runs about $520. Insurance averages under $1,500. Resale holds steady because used Sequoia buyers know exactly what they're getting. A truck that crosses mileage milestones most vehicles never reach. A used Chevy Tahoe at the same age carries the DFM lifter failure risk that costs $4,000 to $8,000 to fix. The Sequoia doesn't have cylinder deactivation. The engine runs all 8 cylinders all the time and does it for 300,000 miles without asking permission. And number 1, the SUV with the highest survival rate to 200,000 miles of anything on this list. And verified examples past 700,000 on the original powertrain. Toyota 4, Runner 5th generation, 47.8% reach 200,000 miles. Nearly half the fleet crosses that mark on routine maintenance alone. The same 4.0-liter V6 paired with a 5-speed automatic ran for 15 years unchanged because Toyota never found a reason to change it. No turbo, no CVT, and no cylinder deactivation. Just a timing chain, a simple fuel system, and truck-style construction that spreads the stress instead of focusing it. Mechanics who tear these down at 300,000 miles report the parts inside looking like they could run another 300,000 without any rebuilding. A used 4Runner with 150,000 miles sells for more than some newer SUVs with 30,000. That's not a typo. Maintenance runs $514 a year and insurance averages $1,300. Resale holds tighter than any SUV in the segment. The owners celebrating 20-year anniversaries with their 4Runners aren't outliers. They're following the product's design intent. The 4Runner was built to last longer than the loan, longer than the warranty, and longer than most people keep a vehicle. The data says it delivers exactly that. When a $14,000 used truck holds its value better than a $60,000 luxury SUV and lasts 3 times as long, the only question is why anyone buys anything else. 2 SUVs that will not last 10 years without serious problems. The Chevrolet Equinox 2025 redesign. First model years always carry unresolved issues that early buyers discover the hard way. The new turbo engine hasn't proven itself over time. Reliability drops 5 to 10% on first-year redesigns. Losing half its value in 3 years tells you the market doesn't trust it to last. He'll wait for the 2027 or 2028 model year when the factory has corrected the early problems using real-world owner complaints. The Dodge Hornet, built on Alfa Romeo's platform without changes for American roads. 12 recalls across 2 model years. 32% chance of a big repair against a class average of 24. Stellantis reliability problems extend directly to this vehicle and every component it shares with the Alfa Romeo Tonale. Parts availability gets worse as the warranty expires. Resale collapses faster than any competitor in the segment. The data on this one was written before it left the factory floor. Avoid it at every price point. Share this with anyone who wants an SUV that still runs strong at 200,000 miles. Every video we've done on what lasts and what doesn't is right here on the playlist.